Welcome, everybody. Friday, lunchtime. Hi, David, Kevin, Debbie, Mark, Celine. So happy to have you here, truly. And I don't know, I picked the subject of guilt because of my Irish mate here, Kevin. And so here we go, guilt. And before we start, let's take a moment and center ourselves, not least of which is me. And hopefully you're in a position where you can just close your eyes and bring your awareness inside, reducing the amount of sensory data input into the brain. And once you've done that, then become aware of your breathing. Watching the chest rise and fall. And just watching the depth of the breath, whether it's short or deep, whether it's easy or strained. And then once you've connected with that, become aware of the sensations in your body. Whether it's a pulsing, tingling, pressure, tension. And as you continue to breathe, it's just giving your body permission to let go wherever possible. Connecting with this moment. And we give thanks for the wonder of technology that allows us to commune from so many different places. We give thanks for all the blessings in our lives. Amen. Okay. Guilt used to be a favorite subject a long time ago, especially where I grew up. Let's take a look at what we have about guilt. And, short definition I pulled from wherever. I think it's the source of all wisdom these days. It's called Google or Wikipedia or something like that. Anyway, you have a feeling of worry or unhappiness that you have because you've done something wrong. And, you know, you've heard me talk every week about the difference between thinking and feeling. And here, the definition uses the word feeling. And most people are not aware of their feelings consciously. Unconsciously or subconsciously, I might recognize that I'm uncomfortable, I'm edgy or whatever it is, but it's always, we go to the mind, most people go to the mind looking for a way of not feeling. So we tend to associate the feelings with the mind. So it's worry or unhappiness, that you have because you've done something wrong, or feelings of deserving blame, especially for an imagined offense or from a sense of inadequacy, guilt. And how many of us were told accidentally or purposely things when we were young: you're fat, you're stupid, you're slow, whatever it is. And that became ingrained as a belief system. And we spend our lives trying to compensate, to get over the feeling of guilt because of my body weight or the way I look or how I move or anything else. A feeling of worry. Oh, yeah, shame and guilt. So, for this purpose, shame is real or imagined negative perception coming from others. So, it's judgment. Guilt arises from a negative perception of my own thoughts or actions. And we'll go back into that in a little bit. The burden of guilt. So there's lots, when I started reading about this stuff, there's a lot of people spend a lot of time researching and studying about guilt. It influences so much of everybody's life. It's quite remarkable. And yet, it's not something I hear talked about. So here's talking about the burden of guilt. And it's like a negative or prejudicial attitude towards, in this case, obesity. So obesity. We have a cultural judgment about somebody who's obese, right? We also have a cultural judgment about a certain person's nationality. God forbid right now if you're from Mexico, or you're Black, or you're Asian, or you're whatever, or your skin color is brown or white or yellow. There's a burden of guilt placed on people because sexual orientation, for example, or their religion, or their choice of no religion. There's a heavy blanket of guilt. In an affective state, one experiences conflict at having done something or having not done something that you should have. Okay. That kind of covers everybody right there, doesn't it? Who has not in your past felt bad about something that we've done, or something we wanted to do but we didn't do, or something we said we were going to do and we didn't do, and vice versa? It's pervading. It's quite remarkable how pervasive it is. Freud said unconscious sense of guilt is the most powerful obstacle to health, to recovery. Guilt, unconscious sense of guilt, right? This lady Miller said a sense of having not lived up to a parent's expectations contributes to illness. And if you think about that, you're 3, 4, 5 years old. You have very little comprehension of the world around you, but you're operating in alpha theta brainwaves, and you're just absorbing what's being given to you. And do you remember being told, well, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a fireman. I'm going to be a policeman. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be whatever. I mean, there's all of these expectations that are placed on us. I'm going to get married, and they're going to have some of our kids, and they're going to have a house, and blah, 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 all these things. And not fulfilling that, if we're not aware of it, can become a cause of unconscious guilt. And yes, Laura, I agree. White males have a lot to answer for, though. Well, not individually. The disease of false guilt. If you feel guilty, you must be guilty. So interesting. Feel guilty? Now, does he mean if I think I'm guilty, I must be guilty? If I believe I'm guilty? Because I don't know if we could classify the way each person embodies guilt, right? The way that you personally experience guilt. It could be contraction in the chest. It could be contraction in the shoulders or the throat or the neck or the face. It could be stomach, intestinal issues. Who knows? Everybody, but it all contributes to guilt, right? Guilt's often associated with anxiety. And it's said that in this research I was doing, it's a major role in mental illness. In mania, they use defense mechanisms, right? And denial by overcompensation. Ever done that? You know anybody that does that? Overcompensates, tries to caretake, tries to control, repression of one's desires towards pleasurable instincts. Yeah, I come from a culture that's all about repression. And it says, this research says, that it's present in the psyche of the average person. Repression. Projection. Blaming the victim. Oh my God. I mean, isn't that's brutal. Self-harm. If we can compensate, like have an action that we can do to make up for our whatever it was that we did that made us feel guilty, then we tend not to need any of these defense mechanisms. But if you look at that list, denial, repression, projection, self-harm, ask yourself, have you in the past used these techniques to deal with a sense of guilt, whether correct or imagined, whether real or made to believe that you were guilty? Individuals high in psychopathy lack a sense of guilt or regret for their actions. It wasn't me. They rationalize, right? They blame someone else or they deny it outright. And that's becoming more prevalent, isn't it? Not owning up to what we do, but rather distract attention, deflect attention by rationalizing or blaming or just denying. And psychopaths lack empathy. So empathy, where we see another person suffering and it causes us pain. And if we can't do anything about it, or we try to do stuff and it doesn't work, we can experience guilty feelings. It's kind of hard to get through life if you're on a spiritual path and not become aware of the suffering in the world. So consequently, I have to become aware of the fact that I'm experiencing guilty feelings about it. The question is, what do I do about those guilty feelings? Shame is directly about the self. It's about me. Whereas guilt, we're talking about the thing that I did or didn't do. Freedom. Freedom. The whole principle, especially from a yogic point of view, is how do I unify the energy within me? I don't have a lot of influence externally, right? So internally, what do I do to unify my energy? Because if I'm carrying guilt, I am at war with myself. And as long as I'm divided, I cannot be aware of my state of wholeness, my natural connection to God, consciousness, divinity, wholeness, love. These things keep me away from it, feeling guilty. A lot of it's driven by the word should. Our own language, so much of my language is habituated. And I find myself being able to recognize it in other people. Well, I should. You know, my wife shared about, well, I should really be spending more time with my parents because they're getting old. Well, I should be doing a lot of things. I should be exercising every day. I should not be eating so much sugar and chocolate. But should I? Really? Am I not just accepting the fact that I don't? Because I can't move change from a place of should. Should is denying reality. I might want to change, but it's okay for me to acknowledge what is right now in this moment. I eat a lot of candy, sugar. I'm not great at exercising. I don't call my parents. I don't have quality time with my kids. Whatever it is, it is. Accept it. Accept our decision, honor our decision without beating ourselves up about it, without forcing ourselves to be in resistance to our own reality in this moment. We have to break the energy of guilt. So there's an energy connected to this, right? It's not a question of there's no reward for guilt. There's a reward for everything energetically, right? Because it's all energy. So I can get just as easily addicted to the energy of guilt and move around in that, become familiar and comfortable with being depleted of life force energy because I'm burning it all up and holding tension and dis-ease in my body and in my mind by repeating old stories, by repeating past events, by rehearsing what I should have done or what I could do or what I'm going to do instead of being present. When we try to break an habituated way of thinking or acting, there is a price to pay. It's called tapas, the burn. When we start to withdraw our attention from what we were habitually doing, our ego will try to stop us because the ego's role is to keep us safe. And change from the perspective of the ego is dangerous. Dangerous. So we have to get familiar with the concept of the energy that our mind calls danger, fear. We have to get comfortable that when we interrupt, when we choose to interrupt something that we've been doing that we don't want to do anymore, and the mind starts to throw a tantrum, we have to be willing to feel the burn, feel the discomfort, connect to the breath, and tell the body that the body is safe, that it's not really in danger, that there is nothing to be fearful of. The body changes the chemistry. The chemistry changes the mind. Isn't that interesting? Instead of us trying to change the mind, we get the body to change the mind. Instead of the mind trying to change the mind, which is very difficult, I think it was Albert Einstein said you can't fix a problem with the same mind that created it. So what do? We move out of the mind into presence and have presence come back and change the mind. Some things change real quickly. Some things take a slow time. A long time. What's our hurry? We want an instant fix, right? I don't want to feel the way I feel. Well, why don't you? Start by feeling the way you feel, but with the realization that once I'm in contact with the true way I feel right now, then I now from there can change. Otherwise, I'm trying to ignore what's going on in my body mind and move into something different. And it's it's kind of difficult to understand, to accept that I can admit to myself I'm depressed, or I could admit to myself that I feel hopeless, or that I could admit to myself any one of the million things that could be causing guilt about our past. But not just admitted verbally, but to feel it. To feel it. To grieve it. And if there are amends to be made, if there is a way to make up for something that we did wrong, then that can take place from not a sense of guilt, but from a sense of connectedness to our own personal reality. Sometimes amends are appropriate and sometimes they're not. There's no hard and fast rule, I don't believe. But seriously, the only way that we're ever going to experience freedom is by connecting to the higher self within us and building that relationship. Building that relationship to the point where you can be led by the energy, by the spirit, by the intuition, wisdom, insight. Be led from a place of grounded peace rather than conflict, rather than fear, rather than, right? It's always fear. It always boils down to fear. Fear of not getting what I want, fear of losing what I have, fear I'm not good enough. But really, the more we connect internally to the place of peace, which we go to naturally every night in sleep, the delta state, which is why sleep is so critical, a critical part of it. It's as important as eating and breathing, because it's the body's natural way of restoring balance, healing the craziness of our day, and rebuilding the body. It's critical. And, you know, if we truly started to recognize, I truly started to recognize that the body really is a temple for the spirit, for divinity, for God to manifest through. And I am in harmony with that creative process. Then you have to believe, Marianne Williamson said, it's not the fear of not being able to do it. It's the fear of the power within us, the magnitude of the power within us. I remember this, I cannot find the video. He's a quantum physicist, savant. And he was talking about that every cell in our body has as much energy as the black hole does, which basically circulates enormous amounts of energy. Every cell, and we have millions, billions, I don't know, it's a lot. There's an enormous source of power within us that is available to us when we are aligned, thinking, feeling, speaking, and doing aligned. Then we don't have to worry anymore. We just do, be, we move into a zone. It's the worry that Drags us down, right? Tapani, I hope I said that right. Welcome from Helsinki. I feel like I'm beating the same drum all the time, you know? I am Yoga Nidra is one of the most powerful things available to you to reconnect to the source of power within. Give you separation from the habituated way of thinking and acting. And giving you a new set of eyes with which to see the world. It's unbelievable. You have to do it to believe it. Nobody can do it for us. There's no magic pill. At least, not that I know of. If you know it, please let me know, will you? Send me an email. I want the magic pill. You know, when you walk outside and it's a spring day and the sun's shining and it's a perfect temperature and your heart just opens and all of a sudden you just feel this wonder. That's it. That's what we want to dwell in as much as possible throughout the day. And it just requires us to slow down and be aware. We think we're not going to get as much done, and the reality is we get everything done that we needed to do. I'm questioning myself even as I say that. Okay, so today we're going to have a Yoga Nidra experience, and I am Yoga Nidra experience, and our intention today is I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, including myself. That's a good one, isn't it? I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, honestly, including myself. So get yourself comfortable. You can't do this wrong. Don't worry. We are the magic pill. There you go, Celine. We are the magic pill. There you go. We are our own magic pill. That's awesome. We're going to do palming the face. So if you're wearing glasses, you might want to take it off and take them off and everything else. Good. So get yourself comfortable. Cover yourself if necessary. It's always nice. And we'll have a I am Yoga Nidra experience. This is recorded, and yes, you can come back to it, absolutely. And it stays up on my Facebook page permanently, and it's also staying on my YouTube channel, which is Liam Gillen. And I work one-on-one with people if you're interested, and if you feel like donating, please do. And if you have questions, email me. And okay, that's enough. All right, let's have a Yoga Nidra. We want to give the body-mind complex rest. So as you enter this experience of I am Yoga Nidra, remain as motionless as possible. But if you do need to move or make an adjustment, do so mindfully and return to stillness as soon as you can. Resolve to remain awake, staying in touch with the sound of my voice. Allow your entire body to respond to my words directly and non-mentally. Allow any disturbances, external or internal, to draw you more deeply within. Now close your eyes and quiet your mind. Be still. Let go of all thoughts, worry, and tension. Give yourself fully to a higher power. Relax. Trust. And let go. Now breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. Again, breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. Let go even more. Now bring your intention into your awareness and repeat it to yourself 3 times. I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, including myself. We'll move now into palming the face. Maintaining this inner awareness, gently begin rubbing the palms together. To the degree that you feel comfortable, place your fingertips on your eyelids, the entire surface of the palms touching your face. Feel the heat from your hands. Now lovingly start massaging your face. The fingers working from the eyebrows up to the hairline. And slowly moving out to the temples, circling the fingers at the temples. Moving down to the joint of the jaw. Along the jawline to the chin. Massage around the parentheses of the mouth. And up to the bridge of the nose. Around the orbits of the eyes. Moving to the ears and massaging in front of and behind the ears. Now place the entire surface of the palms on the face, the fingertips on the eyelids. Drop all expression from the face. Take a deep breath in and let go. Take another deep breath in and let go even more. Gently release your arms to your sides and bring your attention to the impact flooding the whole body. Bathe in the sensations. Bring your attention to the natural flow of the breath. Make no effort to change or manipulate the breath. Simply ride along with the spontaneous flow. Breath moving in, breath moving out. Stay relaxed. Now, observe the natural flow of breath between the root at the base of the pelvis and the crown at the top of the head. Visualize a clear glass tube between the root and the crown. See a thin stream of golden light that ascends from the bottom to the top as you inhale and descends from the top to the bottom as you exhale. Like mercury rising and falling in a thermometer, your consciousness ascending from the root to the crown and descending from the crown down to the root. Release any struggle around the breath. Breathe slowly, deeply, and effortlessly. Feel the movement of breath within this pathway. With each breath in, know that you are breathing in. With each breath out, know that you are breathing out. Now release any control of the breath. Allow the breath to quieten until it is soft, almost imperceptible. Allow your attention to gently rest at the heart center. Breath effortlessly flowing into the heart with each inhalation, and breath spontaneously flowing out of the heart with each exhalation. Enter an effortless state of being. Follow my guidance as we move through different parts of the body. Let your attention rest on each body part as I name it, without comment or judgment. All 10 toes, both ankles, both knees, pelvis, abdomen, chest, arms, throat, face, back of the head, shoulder blades, spine, buttocks, calves, heels, soles of the feet, sense the whole body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. The whole body. The whole body in awareness. Feel the whole body contained in vast, spacious awareness. Feel yourself open and allowing, steady and centered. Rest back, empty, like a blue sky. Pure capacity for experience to move through. Every cloud that comes eventually goes. As the sky, you can let it come and let it go. You know this place. It's the part of you that can never be diminished or destroyed. Pure, steady, timeless, like the sky itself. Rest here. Recognize whatever has happened in your life has already gone, has already passed. You are here. Just be here in this moment. At this time, allow the wisdom of the body to release what it no longer needs. You don't need to hold on to it anymore. Give it to the sky to hold for you. Your life experience has the power to help you become who you were meant to be. You already have what you need. Let this knowingness permeate every part of the body, sending an ever-expanding sense of peace throughout. Give yourself the permission to enter into the deepest level of relaxation right now. Let go. Nothing to do or achieve. Dissolve and disappear into stillness. Open, empty of all doing, all past, all future. Sensations, thoughts, images floating by like clouds on a clear blue sky. Letting it all come and go. Be the space in which it is all happening. Bring your intention into your awareness. I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, including me. I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, including me. I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, including me. Know that your higher self recognizes, honors, and accepts your intention. Have faith and trust that it has been heard and is being acted upon by a higher power of the source within you. There is no need for you to do anything. Bring your attention back to the center between the eyebrows and feel all the energies of your body from all meridians activated, purified, and balanced. All channels are open and the life force is flowing freely, healing the body and calming the mind. Open your heart. Feel content. Experience. At this time, feel the presence of any guides, mentors, teachers, or family members you feel connected to. You may sense this as a universal force or energy surrounding you, guiding you. Know that this presence surrounds you always. You can draw on this presence at any time. If there is any guidance to be received at this time, either as a felt sense, or words, or images, allow yourself to receive it now. Otherwise, simply rest back in the grace and protection of presence. Now begin to become aware of the rising and falling of the breath. Slowly feel yourself beginning to rise to the surface of awareness. Sense the body resting on the floor. The quality of the air as it touches the skin. Gradually, you can move as if you are waking from a restful sleep. If you want, bend your knees, pull them close to your chest, rocking sideways gently to release the lower back. Take your time. Do not hurry. And if you want, turning onto your right side, curling into a fetal position. Bring your intention into your awareness again. I release all those who I blame for my unhappiness, including me. Every time you find yourself in reaction, you are empowered to replace it with your intention. And regardless of what you consciously recognize that has or has not changed, know that something deep within has shifted to connect you with your intention. Become aware of your body. Bring a deep sense of peace, contentment with you as you bring attention back to the body. Notice how relaxed the body is. How soft the breath is. How silent the mind is. How quiet the heartbeat is. Be still and be grateful. Know that you can easily enter here again and again by remembering this feeling. This brings us to the end of our meditation. I hope you have a blessed week. Feel free to email your thoughts. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, just let me know. I thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. My Celine, Tapani, Laura, David, Kevin, Mark, and Sogna. Oh, Danielle. Hi, Danielle. That's great. Good. I didn't want to call you Sogna, sorry. And Debbie and Mark. It's great to see you all. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless. Hi, John. Pleased to see you. Wonderful to see you. Okay. Bye. John and Keeley. Good stuff. Bye, guys.